Owning a cabin in the woods is a lot of work. I was thinking about that this morning before I had to work on the tractor. Then I was thinking about it now as I walk out here to turn the well pump on to pump another 50 or 100 gallons of water. And I think when somebody who's got an idealistic view of having a cabin in the woods probably looks at our cabin and they probably think, man, you got a lot of work to do. It's a mess. Well, yeah, it is. I've got wiring to fix. I got a shed to clean out and remove. Now I got a tractor to fix, and I need the tractor. A sawmill to run and maintain, wood to dry, all that kind of stuff, other things to do. Even this guy here, I really need to seal that up there. And if I'm not gonna put a wall in just yet, then I need to put some metal across there just to protect it in case a fire comes in. Fighting the gophers, rats, mice, maintaining a generator. Still need to put fascia up there. Never got that done. Need to fix that guy right there. It's gotten damage from the snow this year. Got to replace the hot water heater and do an upgrade on the solar power. Need to check my gray water drain. So I guess if there's a message to anybody, owning a cabin's a lot of work. Even if the cabin was totally finished, 100%. Well, you got weed eating, you got groundwork. If you don't want to build, well, that's okay, but you got tractor work. Firewood getting, forest fire protection, forest thinning. It's a lot of work. So the theme of this video, I'll come in here where it's a little cooler. After 15 years, is it worth it? Is it worth owning a cabin in the woods? Especially, is it worth building a cabin in the woods and having to maintain it and do all those things I described? Is it worth having a cabin in the woods after 15 years? What can I tell you? Well, the answer is yes, 100%, absolutely. I love it. Even this busted up old jarhead would tell you, yes, it's absolutely worth having. And I don't care. I know most of my audience is my age or older. But is it worth it? Yes, it is. And if you're thinking about building a cabin in the woods or buying one, I would just say go in with open eyes. There was some advice that I got from reading a book, actually, not from somebody telling me. But I thought it was the best advice, and it was, if you're thinking of buying land and or a cabin in the woods or wherever, go out there and if possible camp there before buying it. And just get a feel for the land. And if you feel it when you get there, if you just love where it is, and it has the things that you need to have. A lot of people will go out, they love a place, they buy it, and there's no water. They got to truck the water in. I would tell you, don't do that. If you can't get a well, if you don't have water access on your property, springs or something else, I would say don't do it. Trucking water is not the answer in my book. And I did have to do it a little bit out here when I was having problems with my own well. What a pain in the butt. I'd go get 110 gallons of water from a neighbor using my tractor, which currently doesn't work. Could you imagine if you lived out in a place like this and your only means of getting water was using your tractor to haul 2 55-gallon drums on a pallet to somewhere that you could get water and then bring it back, but your tractor doesn't work? No, thank you. And you couldn't do it in a truck if you didn't have a tractor to get it out of the back of a truck. So without bringing a pumper truck in, which is exorbitantly expensive, I just don't see it as a valuable proposition for a realistic enjoying your cabin life site. And we have a well here, so we don't have that issue. But if you could find a place where you really enjoy being. When we decided to buy this place, as soon as we drove onto this property, we knew we wanted it. It was just beautiful. We loved it. It was everything we wanted. We had this big flat space right here where the cabin is. It was all trees and grass at the time. We just fell in love with the place, and we're still in love with the place. So despite all of the challenges of trying to build a cabin and maintain a cabin in the woods, I highly recommend it. I will tell you, I don't think there's any time that I haven't come out here with somebody that as we're driving here, I didn't say, man, I love coming out here. I love being out here. This is a beautiful place to be. It's quiet, even when the neighbor's generator's running, which it is now, probably running air conditioning. But it's just beautiful. It's a wonderful place to be. And yes, it's a ton of work, folks. Ton of work. With all the work that needs to be done, it's absolutely worth it. I love coming out here. I love it when Darcy comes out here with me. And for those that are new to the channel, that's my wife. My beautiful wife. I met Darcy back in 2002, and I'll be honest with you, when I met her, I saw her first. She didn't see me first. We'd already been talking online. We met online, believe it or not. We'd been talking for, just a few weeks. And when I met her, I thought, oh, heck. There's no way she's going to want to be with an ugly mug like me. Fortunately, she wasn't looking for a guy that had the looks, She wasn't looking for Tom Cruise. I wouldn't look for Tom Cruise either. But she wanted something else, and I didn't know that I had what she wanted. It's amazing. But this isn't about meeting a beautiful wife like I did. I got lucky. I married up, as they say. I agree. But is it worth owning a cabin in the woods? Yes, absolutely it is. It's a ton of work. But it's always a good feeling at the end of the day. I always feel good. I feel like I accomplished something. And I think that's one of the most important things that you could do in life. And there's a great video out there. I think he's a Navy commander, a Navy SEALs commander. And he talks about, being successful and what it takes to be successful. And one of the things he says, if I remember correctly, is when you get up in the morning, the first thing you should do is make your bed. And he says you do that because then you've accomplished something right away, first thing in the morning. Now, do I do that? Actually, I would, but my wife prefers to do it because, frankly, Darcy makes the bed a lot nicer than I do. I don't do hospital corners anymore, folks. But, I always try to accomplish something. And I think he's absolutely right. And owning a cabin in the woods means you're going to have to accomplish things. You can't just come out here and kick back and relax every time you come out. And I know people do that, but maybe those are people that have money or something and they can afford to pay someone else to do all the fire season prep or the winter prep or the building or whatever. But for me, when I look out over the property, even in this dry, hot, mid-July day, all I see is accomplishments. Stuff's been done. And I love that. Makes you feel good. So even right now, with my tractor not working and that shutting down the majority of my plans for this weekend, you know what? I feel good. I've accomplished something. I got most of my weed eating done, and I still got time to get more done. And yeah, I'm going to get in the back room and do some solar power work, but I've accomplished something, and it feels good to accomplish something. So get out there. If you're thinking about buying a cabin in the woods or building a cabin in the woods, another piece of advice I got from an article I read years ago, back around, holy smokes, I'm guessing around 92 or 3, was the only thing you're going to get sitting on the fence is splinters in your butt. And I thought about that, and I thought, wow, how profound. How beautifully profound. Because it's absolutely correct. If you're sitting on the fence, you're thinking about buying a cabin in the woods, but you haven't really decided if it's worth it, well, the only thing you're going to get sitting on the fence is not having a cabin in the woods. So you know what? Take a plunge. I'm not going to tell you to go out and borrow a bunch of money. I don't think that's wise. But as far as land goes, ain't making any more of it. So it's probably cheaper now than it's ever going to be, even though prices of real estate go up and down, but eventually it's going to go up one way or another. They just don't make any more. And there's 350 million people that live in this country, approximately. So don't sit on the fence. Buy that cabin, buy that property. Thank me later. Folks, that's all I got for you now. Hope you enjoy your day. I'll drop another video right here for you to check out. And hey, if you like these videos, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to do some relaxing. The old Jarhead out.